The sponsor, USAA, tasked us with creating mobile applications for iOS and Android that simplify the way USAA members are able to raise funds. This app will help military and military-related personnel through fun and difficult times by creating a simple solution for collecting funds. With the project requirements from the sponsor being vague and open-ended, it has been up to the team to determine which features to implement to improve the overall user experience. The app was designed with 4 key design principles. It needs to be efficient, intuitive, engaging, and accessible. Otherwise, the users are more likely to get frustrated and give up using the app. For efficiency, the ability to sign in with Facebook, Google, or a USAA account allows members the option of logging in with whichever account is most convenient for them. Quick payment processing with PayPal, credit or debit cards, Venmo, Apple Pay, and Google Pay allows members to transfer funds using whichever method is most convenient for them. For intuitive, a simple UI design without overwhelming distraction keeps the user focused on the task at hand. Navigation controllers enable users to comfortably navigate between screens, and date pickers make working within the app easy. To keep users engaged, integration with Facebook allows for events to be shared, making the app a much more social experience. The app is most accessible when it can reach the largest audience, so having both iOS and Android apps increases the potential user base, while allowing for a better tailored native experience. Native accessibility features, such as text-to-speech, enhance the user experience for members with disabilities.
Our team has designed an app to handle fundraising for USAA, accessible to all members and also to Facebook and Google users for some of the features. The application provides the means for members to find other members and events, view their information, and donate money to them. The main feature of the app is the ability for members to create various events and gather donations, edit their associated events, and review their transaction history. Facebook and Google users can access the app to view and donate money to the events. The project architecture follows the MVC pattern pretty closely. The model is represented by the server-side database, which stores information about members and events, along with Firebase Cloud Authentication Management for Facebook and Google accounts. The client-side mobile app represents the view component via multiple user-friendly interface screens. The controller components is also represented by the client-side mobile app with various classes that perform request processing in the background. Having implemented the main features of the app, our team is focusing on simplifying the user experience by providing Facebook, Google, and USA account linking and working on the user interface design features for engaging and smooth user experience. Some of the design aspects that we're working on are as follows. Consistent and easy on the eye colors across all app menus. Date pickers, linking between app menus for easy navigation, data input validation, search and filtering of lists of users and events, and navigation drawer in main menu for fast access to app features.
Our app's original and updated timelines provided here have some variations due to various issues with scheduling and planning. While our initial app shell was delivered early and made available, we ran into some initial startup issues due to unfamiliarity with the technology packages and tools, such as Android Studio and Xcode, which we are using for this project. Along with this, the implementation of a database took longer than expected due to the amount of PHP code required to ensure proper usability and security. Due to this, our initial MVP that was delivered in December utilized local JSON files to simulate the usage of a database. After the initial MVP was delivered, our sponsor made some changes to the requirements due to how far we had gotten, as well as updated standards from our point of contacts managers. These requests asked us to dream up as many features as possible and implement as many of them as we can before the end of the spring semester. Due to these requests, from this point until the last 2 sprints of our project, we will implement features that we have chosen as the most important. Then we will utilize the last 2 sprints working with UI beautification and bug testing in order to ensure our sponsors' acceptance.
One of the primary issues in developing both iOS and Android apps is the fact that iOS development requires Xcode, which only runs on a Mac. As such, different devices with different operating systems were used by members of our team. Laptops, desktop computers, MacBooks, iMacs, and iPads were all being used, and our codebase had to be accessible by all of them. As such, cloud services and GitHub were used to share files and code between members, allowing for development on all the various devices. Additionally, this provided the added benefit of acting as a backup in case development machines crashed. At the outset of the project, the requirements from the sponsor were pretty vague and open-ended, which led to scope creep. Some USAA members initially instructed us to forget about trying to implement certain features like a login system or PayPal integration, but sponsor meetings with more senior members suggested they wanted to see those features in the apps. Many suggested wishlist features were then provided for us by the sponsor during these meetings, and it was told to us that we were to implement what we could in the time we had, and everything we couldn't get to, they wanted to see a list of features that we would have liked to see in our vision for the app. Additionally, we ran into a number of technical issues with Xcode and Android Studio due to unfamiliarity with those development tools, such as specific emulators being required in Android Studio to enable Google Play services. The more we used these tools, however, the better we understood how they worked, and this is proving to be a contingency plan all on its own. We also worked together to explain what problems we ran into and how to overcome them so other team members wouldn't experience the same problems. Lastly, we had an issue with one of our team members not contributing, and ultimately they stopped communicating altogether. The remaining team members met to devise a plan on how to split up the remaining work to ensure we complete the apps on time.
Our team's final slide will be Project Insights. My name is Richard Melcher. I'll be going over process analysis and what we would do differently if we started over. At this point in our project, our client is satisfied with the functionality of the application. However, to achieve a minimum viable product, they have requested UI beautification. To this goal, we have created several user interface stories the business has approved for acceptance of the final deliverable. These recent changes were not in the initial proposal and are a sign of feature creep and changing project requirements. If given the chance to start over, our team would better thrash out the final deliverable feature set and UI look. However, the business requested a shorter proposal and minimum code for Capstone 1. In hindsight, when our team started this project, we did not have much experience in Android development and required a lot of time to spin up and learn Android, and in my case, database interactions. This is reflected in our GitHub commit graph. Fortunately, this semester we became very successful and consistent with our task implementation, as you can see in our GitHub commit frequency. In hindsight, I believe developing a detailed project proposal without basic knowledge of developing in Android was somewhat a waste of time. We overestimated the ease of implementing some features and underestimated the difficulty of others. This played havoc with our project milestones and contributed to changing goals, project requirements, and feature creep. Better feature research would have led to a more consistent project proposal. One insight our entire team has expressed frustration with has been the difficulty in juggling this project with our other classes. We have all enjoyed this project and our collaboration, but felt having to divert our attention away to other classes and responsibilities led to inconsistencies in development.